we've got a vision, we've got a set of goals to attain that vision, and now we need to then start thinking about how are we going to meet those goals. And I know these two groups have started down that track. And the way I'm describing this here is around this notion of brainstorming innovative ideas, opportunities and solutions. And amongst those are going to be potentially targets or there's going to be potential activities or actions. Okay, but first off, before we even start focusing down, this is what we're going to do, let's do a brainstorming around this to see if we can really sort of stir up some new ideas and new thinking around this. So this is this third step in this four-step process. So we're going to look at what we mean by innovation, because this is about innovation. It's trying to be innovative for this particular ecosystem. We'll talk a little bit about brainstorming, and then there'll be a process, and then there'll be an activity, and some advice from the field. So what do we mean by innovation? Innovation is any change introduced to a system, regardless of whether it's a new or old thing. So it could be an old idea that's being used in a different way. It could be a new idea that's never been thought of before. Or it could be a new idea from somewhere else, that's from another large marine ecosystem, for example, that's being used in this large marine ecosystem. And it could include new policies, projects, programs, technologies, attitudes. So this is coming up with innovative ideas. And it can be based on a combination of criteria such as an expected reduction in the impacts of the transboundary problems, its chances of success, and the capacity to sustain change over the longer term. So what we're looking at here is ideas that are actually going to meet things such as this. Is it going to reduce the transboundary problem? How successful can it be? And will it work over the long term? So from the purpose of this strategic thinking process that we're going through, the purpose of this step is to brainstorm potential innovative ideas and opportunities that target the leverage points again, help achieve the goals that you've defined, and reduce the impact of each transboundary problem. So this is the next step in this process. So brainstorming. We've been doing a bit of brainstorming already. But this is going to be, in a sense, real brainstorming, because what I want you to do here is to start thinking about new ideas. So, brainstorming is the rapid generation and listing of solutions and ideas without clarification and without evaluating their merits. So, the exercise we're going to be doing in a while is not about analysing, evaluating, it's just about coming up with a list of ideas. And what I suggest is that you use the whiteboards or paper and do it that way, because you can, have one person writing up ideas. What I want here is a rapid generation of ideas. Works best with a very group of people from a range of disciplines, different backgrounds. And there is a sense of that here, although I would argue that we do have a preponderance of Chileans here, a preponderance of Peruvians here, and it might end mixed. We've even got multinational here because we have a lot of Italians. But I'm not saying you should, but it might be for the benefit of the exercise. It might be a good idea if you mix yourself up a bit. But you don't have to. I'm not forcing it because you've been working so well in the groups you're in. It requires a facilitator, so it's going to require somebody who's going to take control of this. And I would suggest maybe try somebody else to do this time. A relaxed environment. We're in a relaxed environment, and something with which to write ideas maybe for the chart. And you've already seen the brainstorming guidelines, and you know these. So I'm just going to go over them again though. Encourage all the ideas, anything's possible at this stage. Don't judge the ideas. Don't link names to the ideas. Encourage each other. Go for quantity here. We're not necessarily looking for quality, because we can filter that out and build on each other's ideas. So, the process of brainstorming innovative ideas, opportunities and solutions that target the leverage points and meet the visions and goals. So they could be innovative new ideas, they could be defined as solutions or interventions, or they could be old ideas with a new focus. So it might even be an existing, an existing system or an existing organisation, but that you're going to refocus that organisation. Okay? The point is to be as creative as possible during this step. It's about creativity. The critical analysis of these ideas is going to come in the next step. So no criticism, no analysis here. Okay, we're all okay with that. The key to this though is prioritisation, and that's going to come next. So we're not doing prioritising yet, but the key to brainstorming and an integral part of any strategic planning process is prioritisation. Reason for this is that often limited resources, and it helps to identify which ideas could be considered further. And this project is no different from any other. It has limited, not this project, but the countries will have limited budgets with which to do activities. Jeff will only provide a limited amount of money to undertake activities, and other donors, the private sector, development banks, and other sources of funding, they will want to see that you have prioritised these. But it's not just a wish list. The last thing anybody wants is a wish list of grand ideas that cannot be achieved, because that will be a failure. So, 2 steps again. Identification of limited ideas. We're going to be doing that in a minute. And then, after that, identifying options or alternatives, which is a selection of ideas that meet the needs and realities of the region. And that's the prioritisation step. And we'll be doing that probably after lunch now. So, same thing, we've done a collaborative workshop. We run at the same time as the vision meeting and the goals meeting, possibly. And then we want to go into this idea of identifying options or alternatives. So we want to pick those solutions that we know, we think can go forward to the next step, which is national consultation. Outcome of all of this then will be a table of prioritised ideas, opportunities or solutions that will provide a basis for more detailed consultation. And these ideas, opportunities and solutions are essentially going to be the next step down in this process. You've got your goals, these are going to become certainly objectives and maybe actions. It's going to be they're not necessarily going to be all actions, some of them might be objectives. Okay, but this is the process that we're going through now. What are you doing with it? So, just a bit of advice. Planning, if this is the real situation for this, planning is everything. Make sure that you have all members available for this process, and make sure they're all familiar and comfortable with this idea before you start. You need to have ground rules before an effective brainstorming session. I've introduced the ground rules, I've told you what I want you to do. But try not to set the rules too tight that you don't get creativity. Okay? Brainstorming is more than just putting people into a room and talking about ideas. You need to ensure that the discussion focuses in the right direction while supporting a free flow of ideas. So this is down to good facilitation, good chairmanship. So each person in this group is going to need to steer the people so you don't just end up with a scattergun approach. This is not the tool you will use to determine the best solution. The idea here is just to get as many ideas onto the table, onto the board as possible. Okay, so, everybody happy with that? Good. So, in groups of, in 4 groups, just start brainstorming some innovative new ideas, solutions, opportunities, whatever they might be, based on the goals that you just developed, the vision that you developed earlier, and leverage points and any of the other information you've got. remember the goal of brainstorming, and you've got 12:17. We're going to go for lunch at 1 o'clock today. Okay, so you've got as long as it needs until 1 o'clock. And we can either discuss this, if you finish earlier, we'll have a discussion about it before lunch. If you go up to lunch, we'll have a discussion after lunch. Okay? Please. Okay.